what was it? There was a ghost in the JCs, and they called him, was it Ivan?
Yeah.
Ivan? Okay, I'm not crazy. It was Ivan, and Boobies was supposedly, I can't go ahead and fact check this, but he was supposedly talking crap about Ivan. And if I do remember correctly, he got into a car accident and he broke some of his ribs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a little weird. Paranormal, spooky stuff. Have you guys ever had... I feel like I'm the only one who hasn't, like, experienced anything that was, like, weird or off-putting or, like, paranormal. Have you?
Oh, yeah. I swear, I think my house is haunted.
Oh, your house?
Yes, the whole thing.
The whole thing?
Because I have this almost kind of like ceramic teddy bear. It's only like, you know, like 3 inches or so. But it had like angel wings on it, and on the bottom of it, there's a button. I don't know why it's on the bottom, but it was on the bottom. And it was sitting on my TV stand. And the batteries have been dead for years, like nothing. And I'm just sitting there playing games, and all of a sudden it goes off. Just completely starts, I don't even know what the little chime of it was or anything, but it went off, and the second I get up and pick it up, it completely stops. Completely. And I push the button, still doesn't work. I set it back down, sit down for about another 30 minutes, and it goes off again.
So weird. What about you, Alex? Paranormal, spooky stuff.
I unfortunately can't think of any because I don't think I've ever really had those types of experiences in my life.
I feel like it's a very, like, it's either people don't believe in it or it's just, like, people will put in their head, like, if they see something, like, that they think is weird, they'll put themselves into a state of denial because they don't want to scare themselves, if that makes sense.
Makes sense. I have another one, though. This one is, I think, worse than the weird, creepy teddy bear thing.
The teddy bear? The ceramic teddy bear?
So it was late at night, and, you know, sometimes you're having one of those days where you want a few drinks, you know?
Yeah.
And I maybe had a few too many, but I had a little, you know, vomit session, and I went to sleep on the floor in the kitchen, which makes sense. And the house is quite old, so to get to the attic, you have to slide the shower door, and then there's a door in the shower that you open to get to the attic. And you can't open the attic from the inside once you're up there, so you have to have somebody obviously open it.
It's a terrible design.
And I know,
awful.
it's probably like a 90-year-old house or something. And so I fall asleep, and I wake up in the middle of the night upstairs in the attic when I was sleeping on the bathroom floor. And the sliding door to the shower was closed, and the door to the attic was also closed. And I just woke up there.
Or do you think maybe you were too drunk?
I may have blacked out.
You wandered up there.
But
You just didn't
when I
notice.
woke up, the cats were all by me, and I was like, how come all 3 of my cats are here? Because they all hate each other.
Did the cats put you there?
I doubt it, but maybe they just picked me up.
They just
But
dragged his-
I was laying there, and I sit up, and my attic goes across the entire house. And I see these 2 glowing, almost like orange kind of eyes. And I'm like, there's no lights up here, ever. So my cats, the second I sit up, all 3 of my cats run down the stairs. I'm like, okay, they were all chilling up here 2 seconds ago, but right when I wake up, they all run. And I just see like this weird shadow figure sitting by the window. And like the moonlight's coming through the window all the way down the hallway of the attic. And I'm just sitting there looking at it, and I'm not going to acknowledge its existence because I feel like that's giving it power. So I just turn and go down the stairs and close the attic door and go to my bed because, you know, I'm good. I have Ouija boards. I don't want to speak to it, though.
What are the different haunted houses that you guys have been to? Like, other than the ones that you worked at, if you haven't been to any, like, I just want to know which ones you guys have been to that isn't. Just the ones that you've worked at before.
Well, I've been to my favorite place in the whole world is Wyard's Orchard.
What is that? Can you tell me more?
Never been there?
No, I have no idea what it is.
So it's an apple orchard in Ypsilanti, and they have like, I think like 5 or 6 haunted houses in one place. They have like an asylum, haunted mine shaft, an ultimate haunted barn. They have alien cage clowns, and then they have Splattertown. It's like a paintball zombie thing. And then they have a hayride
I've
in the
heard
whole
about
back
it.
of the place.
Yeah, okay.
I've been there at least maybe 4 or 5 years in a row. I've built an entire cardboard model of it, and they gave me a free season pass for the
Are you
whole year.
serious? That's cool.
It was,
That's
I love
cool.
that place. And then my first haunted house was it was a trailer haunt. It was in Lincoln Park, and they put like truck trailers almost like right next to each other, and then there's a third one in the back, and it's very claustrophobic, and you just walk through the entire thing. That was my first haunted house, though. I was like 9.
9?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I love haunted houses.
Are you actually got a favorite haunt that you haven't worked at?
I don't, like I said, I don't go to much haunted houses, so other than Eloise, which I don't really remember much of it, so I wouldn't be able to tell you much
Yeah.
anyway. The JC's was like the best haunted house that I think I've been to.
So it was either we were just getting in line for Haunted Hoochie or we were just leaving. I can't remember, but there was a zombie coming up. And obviously, like, I'm skittish. I get scared at basically everything. And so the zombie comes running up on me, and I'm like, can I help you? And he just keep following me, so I start running. And I'm running in this grass patch, and there was a line, like, guardrail, but it was rope instead, so, like, they could direct the line. I did not see that at all. So when I'm running, I literally just clothesline myself. Just straight clothesline. I ran so fast into it that literally my entire body just went and then just fell straight to the floor. And then I'm like kind of hazy and I'm looking around, and next thing you know, I see Adam full send sprinting at me to make sure that I'm okay. And then that zombie did get lectured by, it was either a cop or a security guard he got lectured at, because apparently he wasn't supposed to do that. Got clotheslined.
Wow. Adam to the rescue.
No, it was so funny because literally, like, I'm just hazy and Adam's just.
He's like
You're like, are you
the cop
okay?
from
Are you okay?
Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
The cop. Oh my god. Clint Lockwood. Scares gone wrong. Scares that happened that you wanted to go some way and didn't go the way that you wanted it to. What happened?
Every scare that has gone wrong for me always leads in a possible fight. Don't know why.
Stop being so sarcastic.
I'm sorry. It's
Maybe
just
that's
that's
your
just my
problem.
natural instinct, you know. It was last year, and it was a dude and his girlfriend.
Oh no.
That's always a bad.
Yeah.
And this dude, like, I was in the gas mask, so I almost have to yell for people to hear what I'm saying. And I got the dude, but like, he just didn't show any emotion at all. So I was like, oh, so I didn't get the dude. And the first thing he goes is, I'm gonna punch you in the face. I'm like,
I've heard this story.
why would you do this? And he was like, well, I think you're just being a douche, man. And I'm like, I mean, I guess if that's really what you want. I was like, the toxins are really getting in my head, but I feel like you're the problem now. And he was like, oh yeah. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, well, I don't want to embarrass you, but like, you're about to lose this fight on the job. And I was like, what if I was hired for this? What if I was hired for me to beat you, man? And he was like, well, that's weird, dude. And I was like, I didn't say beat you off. I said beat you. And I was like, we gotta keep moving, man, because you're gonna get in the way of everybody else. He was like, oh, now you're breaking character. I was like, never broke character. I was like, this is my job. I work here. This is the sewers, man. And he's like, you're allowed to break character. I was like, I'm not doing it. I don't know what you want from me. And he just keeps going on his way. And then later, the dude didn't realize I was the same guy. So I walk around and I actually like scared him this time and got his reaction. He goes, what's up, bro? And I'm like, I was like, do you realize I'm the same guy? He goes, you're the same guy? I'm like, what? And then he just left and I'm like, all right, well, that's the most memorable failure at a scare, I guess.
Alex, I know you got one.
I never had that many interactions where like it didn't go according to plan.
There's been one. There has to be.
There is one. It's not that notable because I was basically in the audience room and I had this big scare set up where I would crawl around on the floor like smothered in blood, and I was just in the corner making croaking noises, and then these this couple came in, very drunk. They were very drunk, and I was like doing my croaking thing. I was crawling towards them and stuff, and they were showing no reaction. They were just laughing and just going like, "Oh my God, look at the hamster!" I'm like, what's this girl even saying? What are you even saying? And then I was just like, all right, these guys are like a no-show. And then I just like creepily crawled back in the corner waiting for the next people. Because they're way too out of their minds to just not be here to get scared. So I was like, all right, just next person.
The worst that happened to me was I was either 14, 15. I was in purgatory in the second room, and my acts went like along the lines of asking people if I was pretty. That was the whole thing. And there was this very obviously drunk man, and I'm gonna assume he was in his 40s because he was bald. And so I do my bit, and I ask him, am I pretty? And this man stops in his tracks, and he looks my 14, 15-year-old self up and down and goes, yeah, you're pretty hot. And that was the only time that I've ever like froze deer in headlights the entirety of acting. That was terrible. Cause like, what are you supposed to say in that moment? Like,
Well, call the police.
police. It's just weird because like you could tell, like when I was that age, you could tell I was not of age, and I feel like that's what makes it so much worse. Is you could tell I was a kid.
Yeah.
Drunk old men ruining haunted house experiences.
Oh, that reminds me of another failed attempt last year. I was standing on one of the barrels. Barrels were not filled with anything.
Yeah.
Which
It's
was
air.
quite dumb of
It's
me.
air.
And I'm like standing on it, trying to just like blend in because it was like white barrel, white clothing. And I try to get this guy, and I put so much momentum forward to the point where the barrel tips over and I completely fall on my back.
Oh no.
And it's one of those things where like you just gotta commit to falling. But on the way down, I completely tore the pant leg all the way down. And I'm sure you remember me walking
do.
in and seeing
because
the
there
complete...
was a huge rip from like your leg straight to your crotch area. And I
Yep.
pointed it out to you. I was like, should I have a little fun tonight? Like, what happened?
Yeah. And I just remember getting up and they were like, are you good, man? And I was like, listen, the fumes are just messing with my head, dude. I don't know. And it's one of those things where you just gotta keep going. I mean, you're in physical and mental pain. Maybe broke a rib, but you know.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about
You just gotta
that.
keep going.
When you fall, like, what are you gonna do? Like, you're not gonna be able to stop yourself in time. You just gotta think, improv.
Mm-hmm. Nothing else for you?
No, that was pretty much the only
Just
like,
drunk
notable-
hamster lady?
Drunk hamster lady.
Hamster lady.
Just drunk hamster lady.
Drunk hamster lady.
Oh, I got another one. My brain's just cooking.
Stop being so sarcastic, Josh.
It's the hamsters.
This one wasn't even my sarcasm. The whole group was just running through the haunt. And they got to the church area, and they completely ran through the wall. The entire wall.
Where?
So it was like, after the cemetery, you go through like, I can't remember the name of the thing. But you're going
The church?
around and you're going to the church.
Okay.
And it's like that whole foam wall.
Yeah, it's all styrofoam.
Yeah. And the entire group felt like dominoes. Like they just ran through, one of them went through the wall, here comes the next one, and the next one, and they all get up, covered in mud, because it was the rainiest day of the entire season.
Did you tell Feeney about that?
I
About the
did.
people going, what was his reaction?
He was like, did they break anything? I was like, they broke everything.
They went through the wall.
Yeah, so now I think that's part of the reason why he added the whole cult area to lead away from that area and having such sharp turns. Because, yeah, they completely took the whole wall out. Like, the whole part where the actors go behind the walls so nobody sees them go to a different spot, you can completely see through that.
Your story reminded me of a story. I don't know how it reminded me of a story, but this was 2 years ago. This was my first year at Deranged, and that was when I was in the little pop window. And so there was a gate that had, like, there was a gate, and then the room in front of the gate, it had, like, a big old pumpkin wall. And so one night, I left out an important part. There's a sheet that's like right outside of like that little pumpkin wall. So like people from time to time would walk inside of that sheet thinking like, oh, free haunted house. But this one instance, there was this guy who was either way too drunk or way too high. And he walks in and Calvin's working that spot. And he's trying so hard to redirect this dude to where he needs to go. And this dude is just not budging. He's just standing there and he's like, I need to find my family. I need to find, who are you? Where do I go? And they're literally walking around a circle. Like, Calvin's trying to get this man to where he needs to go. And they're just walking in a circle and he's just like, where am I? Where am I? Calvin did eventually get him out though. I think he literally was like, come here, and just chased him into the pumpkin wall. Yeah, that was unexpected. I watched the whole thing. I wasn't the one doing anything, but like you could see right through the gates, and I watched the entirety unfold. You got any? You look like you got weird dreams. You're staring at me like you got weird dreams.
Mm-hmm.
I know you do. You're sighing right now.
What kind of? Okay.
What did I say?
Nothing too weird. I mean, nothing I can talk about on camera.
That's terrible.
Yeah. I guess it depends what I'm watching or doing the day before.
That's weird.
Like if I'm watching a horror movie, I mean, I guess they'll pop up in my dreams, but I have those kind of dreams where like, I can't remember what they're called, but like, I can do whatever I want in them.
Oh, lucid dreams?
Yeah.
Where it's like you have like your own like free will in your dreams. Like you can control everything. Does that make sense? Yeah, that's lucid dreaming.
A lot of the times I get attacked by people with guns, and I magically just give myself vulnerability and just walk out there. But I mean, that, and if I have nightmares, I guess if you want to call them, but I enjoy them, so they're not really nightmares.
That is so odd, and that's really odd to say.
But,
I enjoy my nightmares.
But usually it's something attacking me, and I just cannot get rid of them.
Yeah, no, that's weird. That's weird.
It's like no matter what I do, they'll just like continue to harass me the entire time I'm sleeping. And I'll wake up, and I'll go right back to the dream where I left off.
You graduated from Roosevelt, right?
Yeah, what does that have to do
No,
with
wait, I'm getting there. Did you ever have Ms. Rob?
Yeah.
Did you ever talk to her about your weird dreams?
Hell no.
Why not? She, no, we had an entire, like, in, psychology, we had, like, an entire lesson on dreams and stuff and, like, what they mean. You should have brought those up to her, and she'd probably give you an explanation for all of your dreams.
I should have took psychology.
Yeah, you should have. So that was a great class.
That dream reminds me of another dream I had. I remembered where it was basically me being in a Supernatural episode. The show, not the occurrence. Where there was this weird freaky cult that was surrounded with Oreos. Like they worshipped Oreos for some reason. I don't know. And like as an act of defiance, I guess, like I was just casually eating Oreos, and they just like, kill the non-believer, kill him, string him up from his hair and his neck.
Some like
they started chasing me. I was like, I'm just eating an Oreo here, bud.
that's some like Outlast 2 stuff right there.
No, you're so right.
Apparently, it was heresy to eat Oreos in their cult. I guess I don't know.
Oh, you're so right. Oh my god. Favorite Halloween memory? But mine's kind of sad.
That's a good
My
memory.
mom
That's a
forgot
good
to
memory.
get me a Halloween costume. So literally what she did is I had a cheetah print like coat. And what she did is she had me just wear that cheetah print coat with like a cat whiskers drawn on my face, and that was my Halloween costume.
Wow.
That was terrible. Okay. You got one. Tell me your favorite ever.
Ever.
It has to be ever. Number
The
one.
whole world's watching, Josh. No pressure.
No, they're not. I think it's just the more the recent years, because I've made this epic Michael Myers costume.
This
I knew it
epic.
was gonna
I'm
break.
talking like straight from the movie. It almost looks like
How
the
much did it
recent movies.
cost to make it?
Probably like altogether about $200.
Why'd you do that?
Well, first of all, the costume was about $50
Oh, okay. And then did
from
you like
Spirit
distress
Halloween.
it?
I distressed it. I added like fake blood and everything. The mask was like $70 because it's Trick or Treat Studios.
Oh, okay. Never mind. That makes sense.
And the rest of the materials were just,
Sorry for dissing on you.
yeah. We can fight after the show.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. But I put the suit on every year, and I have this giant speaker, and I play the Michael Myers theme song. And
Are
I
you
just
scaring
like,
kids on Halloween?
yeah.
What
I'm
is
scaring
wrong with
kids.
you?
Nothing. I like to see the fear on people's faces.
Terrible.
But the suit is so good that, like, people genuinely think that I'm Michael Myers. I've had the police get called on me probably about 5 or 6 times.
That's terrible.
It's
That's
fantastic.
Awful. You think after the first time that the cops got called on you, you'd be like, yeah, I gotta tone it down a little bit.
Oh, they know now that it's
okay.
me.
Oh, right.
This, I think it was like the day before Halloween or something. This kid was walking home from, I don't know where, but it was like 9 o'clock at night. And I'm staring at him down the street, and he sees me, and he's just like, his first reaction's no, because I'm the only one out there in a costume.
That is so weird. Oh, wait, hold up. So you're telling me there's just a kid walking down the street.
He was probably like,
One child, and then you're running up to this kid by yourself.
yeah.
Okay, continue.
But so to avoid me, he turns down the block, which is fair. But he doesn't realize that the house next to mine, and right after that house, there's an alleyway that leads all the way down the block.
What is wrong with you? You're chasing kids in alleyways.
Okay, he was like at least 17, so you know.
Okay, then do not refer to him as a kid. That is
Okay,
a
he was a kid
borderline
to me
adult.
because I was 20. So he was a kid,
Okay.
easily.
Whatever floats your boat.
Right? I mean, that makes sense. So I cut him off, basically. I'm standing in the alley. So in his eyes, it looks like I have teleported over there. And the first thing he does is look over, pull out his phone, and call his mother. I don't know why.
Mama, come save me.
I learned about 2 seconds later, his mother is a Karen.
Oh, no.
You can censor that, I don't care. But, and I was technically, from her eyes, on her property. Even though I was in the alleyway. I didn't step foot in her property at all. So he runs into the house while he screams, "Mommy," on the phone. And so I take off my mask, and about 2 seconds walking back to the house, I hear, "You bastard!" I'm like, okay, here we go. So I'm just holding on to my mask, and she comes up to me. She goes, "You know, I can call the cops on you. You're on my property." I go, "Sorry, lady, this is public property. Like, you can call whoever you want. You can call the Ghostbusters. I really don't care." And her husband's just standing there,
What?
like being a complete Ken behind her, you know. And she's like, "Well, I hate you. I'm gonna get a warrant on you." And I'm like, "Warrant for what? You're still not the police." And she was like, "Restraining order, everything. What's your name? How old are you?" I was like, I don't need to tell you that." And she's like, "Where do you live?" And I'm like, "I don't need you in my windows, lady. Like, please leave." She's like, "You leave. You're in the alley." And I'm like, "All right, well, I'm gonna leave then." I was like, "No big deal. Like, it's not my fault. Your son is kind of a sissy."
Yeah, maybe teach your son to not
Yeah.
be such a...
Like, I was just playing a game with him, and the second I take my mask off, he runs away. Like, I was gonna be like, you know, "Good game," kind of thing.
You're 17, bro.
Yeah.
It's time to call it quits.
And it's like, so I start walking back, and I see this police car pull up. I'm like, okay, here we go. And he was like, "How you doing?" I was like, "I'm doing pretty good, just scaring people, you know, it's the day before Halloween." He goes, "That's fair." He's like, "Let me see the costume." So I put the mask back on. He goes, "Badass, dude. Have a good night." I'm like, "All right, see ya." And the following day, I scared the kid again on Halloween. And the funniest part, though, is his dad hands me a lovely beer and says, "I'm sorry for my wife." And then that was the whole experience.
Favorite Halloween memory?
Shoot.
But like
Bang.
your number one most favorite.
Number one? Oh, man. I think was it Halloween when me and you went to Jonah's party?
I think it was, yeah.
So Josh had a friend named Jonah name drop, sorry. But
Oh well.
they always, his dad always threw like the biggest parties every year on Halloween. So everybody was dressed up, the whole house. The house was huge, by the way. It was humongous. And like there would be spider webs, skeletons, blood everywhere. It was all cool. And I can't remember much from that night, I'll be honest. All I remember is that I saw Gage there in a Deadpool costume, was it?
He was a fat Deadpool. That's what it was.
But that's where I got all the bottle caps with all the cards. I don't know what they're called. The card symbols.
It was a
Aces.
specific brand of bottle caps. I can't remember what company it was, but they had like a bunch of playing cards printed on the inside of the caps.
Oh, that's
So you could
cool.
play cards with the caps.
But yeah, I think that was the most memorable.
Did you figure out yours yet? Or?
I still don't have one.
Wow. Just
I seriously don't. Cause like I'll try to think of one, but like, oh, I got one, guys.
Got it.
Thank
There it
you. Okay, no, this was Circus Sinister. It has to be Circus Sinister, and I can't remember. I had to do something that night, so I told Joel and Shirley that I wasn't coming to act that night, and then my plans changed, and I showed up a little late, and I was thrown into a chicken suit with boxing gloves. And literally what I was doing the entire night was I was just bouncing around going to everybody. And it was an Australian chicken. That's like an important factor. That has to be probably the best Halloween memory. Because that's the only one that I can think of where I was like, yeah, that was pretty good.
It was funny because I used that same accent a little bit later. On Halloween night.
Did you steal it from me?
I probably did,
That's terrible.
but
I'm gonna trademark it.
you might want to. But I'm gonna leave some language out of this because it was not pleasant.
no.
But it was before the Halloween night, like opening doors or whatever. Me and Alex were getting super bloodied up, like super bloodied up, and I started pouring blood on myself. And Alex goes, "I thought I was gonna do it," and I was like, "You might kill me with it." And then Alex was like, "I'm not gonna kill you with it." And I was like, you might, look at my shoes already. Because they were just drenched in blood. Like, I looked like I was waterboarded for about 15 minutes with it. Yeah, that's where I stole your accent from.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks.
I
I
thought
still
you'd appreciate
use that accent in Deranged too.
I haven't used it since then, so
Good.
I'm gonna use it this year.
Because I got like a deeper set, like female voice, and like a way to make my voice higher is throwing an Australian accent on it, which is really weird, but it works.